What's up, guys? Chris over here at Cover 7. Hey, real quickly, I just want to give a major shout out to everybody that subscribed, commented, gave thumbs up, man. It truly, truly helps a small channel out like mine. I've met some great people the past couple weeks on this channel, and I truly, truly can't thank you enough. So, with that being said, guys, we got an interesting game, or at least in my opinion here. We got Texas going on the road to the swamp here. And I want to say this. It's funny before the season started, which it was only a month ago, kind of feels like a lifetime ago because a lot of football has been played. Texas was the odds-on favorite to win the Natty. You know, they go into the horseshoe, they get beat by 14-7, ugly game offensively for both teams, and it's like now nobody is talking about Texas at all. It's like they're an afterthought, which is kind of weird. It's kind of crazy, right? They're 3-1. Their only loss obviously was to Ohio State. Now they did beat a couple elementary schools here in Sam Houston and UTEP and San Jose State. But say what you want about Florida. Florida's been a very interesting team as well, right? Tons and tons of hype all off season. I wasn't sold on Florida, and I'll talk about Florida here more in a minute and just my thoughts of Billy Napier and Florida as a whole. But throwing it back on back over to Texas here, Texas still got everything in front of them. They're okay here. They don't have any, SEC losses or anything like that. The Ohio State game, yes, it was ugly. They only lost by 7, and Ohio State, no doubt about it, in my mind, one of the best defenses in the country, without a doubt. So, with that being said, let's talk about the main issue with Texas. It's everywhere. It's on every meme. It's Arch Manning, right? Now, I want to say this about Arch Manning. I mean, I don't know the kid personally. But he didn't bring the hype on, put it upon himself. He didn't do that. It was other people, right? It's because of the last name, idiots on the internet like me, the media, all that put tons and tons and tons of pressure on this kid to be great. Now, he hasn't played well. I agree. He's looked pretty bad at times. The numbers aren't horrible. 65 of 106, 888 yards. Yeah, that's only a 61.3% completion percentage, which isn't great by any means because he has played quite a bit of football up in this point, although this is his first year starting. So say what you want about that. He's got 9 touchdowns with the 3 INTs. I know he had that stretch. I think it was against UTEP. You can correct me if I'm wrong, where he got booed, where he threw like 10 or 11 straight incomplete passes. I get it, but look, again, I'm not going to write off Arch Manning, I guess, me personally. I don't think he's trash. Yes, he hasn't played well, but I could say the same thing about Cade Klubnik. I could say the same thing about Drew Aller. I could say the same thing about Garrett Nussmeier right now. I mean, none of those three, and those three are all supposed to be lottery picks in this year's NFL draft. So, I don't know. To be determined there. Now, look, not all of the problems on offense are his fault. UT, in my opinion, it runs the ball okay, but it's not great. I don't understand the slew of backs that they have back there. I don't know if they're just trying to find the guy. Gibson is their leading rusher with what's he got? 155 yards on the year. Arch Manning's actually second on the team with only 30 less than that. I don't love it when your quarterback is like your leading rusher or close. I just don't. Not something I think you need to live on. But neither here nor there. Texas's offense is fourth in the country. Excuse me, sorry about that. They are 37th in the country in rushing offense, which isn't bad, but I don't think that's great either. I'm so accustomed to seeing guys like the Bijan Robinson, Jadon Blue back there, just these really, really good NFL caliber type backs. So we'll see what happens here. I think they're still trying to figure out the guy. Maybe Texas fans can let me know down in the comments what they're doing with that backfield. As far as the receivers go, UT as usual, got some pretty good ones. I really like Ryan Wingo. I'm waiting for him to really come out onto the scene here. And maybe this is one of these games against Florida he can do it. With that being said, DeAndre Moore, pretty good receiver. I think Livingstone is their leading receiver with as far as catches go. So they got a solid group of receivers here. Like I said, Texas never lacks in wide receivers. That's for sure. So I don't know. This offense to me just looks like it's stuck right now. And that's really the only word I can think of. Maybe it comes out of that. I don't know. Florida does have a really good defense. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Now, on the defensive side for Texas, there is one thing I do know. They are really, really freaking good. They held Ohio State to 14 points. They pretty much shut out a majority of the opponents they played up into this point. They're number 4 in total defense, number 3 in rushing defense, 16th in passing yards allowed, and 28th in sacks with 11 on the season so far. It's one thing about Steve Sarkisian. He can fund a defense, man. They were good last year. They are really good again this year. So I have no questions there. Let's talk about the team that's 1-3 here, and that would be the Florida Gators. Losses to South Florida, LSU, and Miami. Now, Florida, it's no joke. They have a tough schedule this year. These were 3 pretty good teams here they lost to, depending on what you think, especially of South Florida and LSU. Miami is a top 5 team right now. Debate me in the comments. With that being said, let's talk about DJ Lagway, who has really, really struggled up into this point. And similar to Arch Manning in that way, the accuracy has been a problem. He's only got 690 yards through the air. He's got 5 touchdown passes to 6 interceptions. Now, it's kind of funny. 5 of those 6 were in one game against LSU, but he has struggled to run this offense, and I don't want to put all this on him. Look, I'm going to say this about Florida. I'm not a Florida fan by any means, but Billy Napier, in my opinion, and I said this 3 or 4 years ago now when they hired him, I didn't think he was the right guy for the job. I know that's easy to say now, but like Nebraska, my team, the expectation from the fans, and rightfully so for Florida fans, is competing for SEC titles and national championships, playoff appearances, whatever. That's what the expectation is. Auburn is the same way. Nebraska is still the same way, even though we've been irrelevant for 20 plus years now. I thought they needed to go get a coach that has worked his way up through the ranks and proven himself in the group of 4. Nothing against Billy Napier. He comes from the Sun Belt. I just thought it was too big a leap. And I honestly hate to say this. I think Billy Napier is actually a really good dude. It's just, I think he has no freaking clue what the hell he's doing. He's still the offensive coordinator. He's got like a bazillion people on that staff. The offense is so freaking bad. And it makes no sense to me. And I'm not trying to do Florida fans here any justice or make you feel better or pat you on your head. Florida has talent. It's everywhere. It's in one of the biggest recruiting hotbeds in the country. I don't understand. They finish top 15, top 10 in recruiting every year, even under Napier. And it's like, why can't they fund a team, whether it's on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball? Now, their defense is good, and I'll talk about them in a minute. But offensively, they have players. I like the ball kid at running back. I actually think he's really freaking good. DJ Lagway, he was compared to Dylan Raiola, who, trust me, like I said, I can talk about for an hour here, but I won't. He was basically in that same class, right? Young kid, going to start as a true freshman, which is hard to do in college football. A flash at times last year. This year, it's been horrible for him. And I don't know what that is. I can't pinpoint it. Maybe Florida fans can let me know in the comments, but I don't know what his issue is, man. I think DJ Lagway's good, but the way he's been playing, it looks like he's never played football before. I don't know if the moment's too big for him. The spotlight's too bright. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think anybody really knows other than DJ Lagway. But with that being said, offensively, it's not like they don't have players to go around. The running back, Jadon Ball, like I just mentioned. They got wide receivers. I mean, Brown, Wilson, the tight ends up there. Is it Hansen? He's pretty damn good. They got speed. It's Florida. They've always had speed. This offense has got to get going, and it's going to be really tough, this game in particular, against this Texas defense. I'm going to be shocked in this game, guys, if Florida can score a touchdown. And if you guys want to hear this crazy stat, and I'm sure you know this, but they only have 4 touchdowns in their previous 3 games. That's it. 4. That's all. It has been that bad for Florida. Now, I know they played a good Miami defense. I know South Florida is nothing to scoff at. LSU has their defense is way better than their offense, that's for sure. But still, you got to be able to put more points up, especially in today's college football where everything is kind of geared towards the offense. So, with that being said, let's flip it over to their defense really quickly. This is the good news. I mean, they are good on D. They got some ballers on that defense. And here's the sad thing. They've been on the field 75% of the time and are still putting numbers up like this. Check these ranks out. 22nd in the country in total defense, 33rd in rushing defense, 32nd in passing defense. Here's the only problem, and this is actually kind of shocking. They are dead last in the country, Florida's defense is, in sacks. They have 2 on the year. That is it. Now, I don't know how far you want to dig into that. My point is, they played some pretty good teams here, but my point is, man, when your defense is on the field that freaking long in the entire game. Like the LSU game, it felt like their defense was literally on the field the entire second half. I swear Florida had the ball. Well, they probably had it 5 times. DJ threw, 3 picks in that half. It was just, what are you supposed to do? I don't care how good your defense is. It's impossible if your offense can't put up any points and move the ball and at least sustain a drive for a few minutes. So anyway, I won't dwell on that too much. As far as this game goes, though, the line is super interesting. I think Texas is favored by 6.5, maybe 7. I know it opened up maybe at 8 or 9. I'm not going to get into the betting because I released plenty of betting videos here, but the only way I can see Florida staying in this game, and thank God I think they're in Gainesville. Hopefully the crowd doesn't want to see Napier fired, I guess. They gotta do something early in this game, whether it's a kickoff or a touchdown or a punt return early, an interception by Arch Manning, and you get good field position and you get up early and get the crowd, you know what I'm saying here, behind you. Look, I just don't know if they can do that. Texas defense is so damn good. Like I said, I don't know if Florida can score a touchdown in this game unless it's on some fluky stuff. I really don't. And I'm not trying to shit on them. As bad as they've looked, I don't know if you can just drastically change that against one of the best defenses in the country. I just don't. As far as Texas goes, if this does become a low-scoring game, which I think it will be, I think points are going to be at a premium in this one because the defenses are both so good. Texas is going to run the ball a ton. I think they run the ball at like a 59% clip. They run it a ton. And I don't see anything being any different from Florida. The problem is, though, I think Texas can sustain some longer drives here. If Texas gets up early, this thing is, in my opinion, kind of over because then you're forcing DJ Lagway to play from behind. So you guys see my point here. Florida's got to do something quickly in this game to get that crowd behind them and get some points on the board. That's really where this one comes down to. As far as like betting it, I might not even bet this game because it's just, I don't like low-scoring games like this. I mean, a play here or there could change it. I will say that about plays, and big plays in particular, explosives. Florida's going to need 1 or 2 here. They're going to need it. Texas is basically in the same realm, considering what I've seen so far from Arch Manning. Whoever makes the bigger plays here, it sounds super square, least amount of penalties, something that has plagued Florida, in my opinion, lost in the game against South Florida was all the stupid-ass penalties. They got to clean that shit up. I mean, it just can't happen if you're Florida here at home, at the Swamp, and Billy Napier, his job is on the line right now. There is no doubt about it. In my opinion, he should have been let go last year or even the year before. I know they won a couple games at the end of the year. I also wanted to mention that, not to go off tangent here. Billy Napier does have a history, though, of winning a couple games he shouldn't. He did it last year. Everybody wanted him fired after the Miami game, after Cam Ward, put up 40 on him. And then at the end of the year, they knocked off a pretty decent LSU team and knocked off, in my opinion, a really good Ole Miss team that kept them out of the playoffs. Is this it? I mean, you guys let me know down in the comments. Is this it? Is this where Billy Napier and DJ Lagway pull head from ass and actually come prepared for this one and win an ugly game? Maybe it's it. Maybe this does happen. I'm sure Florida fans want it to happen. I get it. It would be fun to see as a fan with no skin in the game. I mean, I have no love for either of these two teams. This is just me talking, and I'm just an old guy out here in the Midwest. But let me know down in the comments, guys. So with that being said, like I said, I think Texas does win this game, in my opinion. I think it is ugly. I think it is close. I'd like to think Florida comes out and plays a little bit better here because this is pretty much their season, honestly. I know they're 1-3. They can't make a playoff. I get all that. But, man, the wheels could fall off here if they lose this game. And if they lose by 20, 30 points, something like that, Billy Napier's probably getting fired out on the field after the game or maybe during the game. I don't know. But Florida needs to play well on this one, in my opinion. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate, once again, all the love and support, and we'll see you next time.